Working at Target taught me, unless I'm like a super millionaire, bro, which I will be, I would not be like one of them hardcore provider dude. Cause every one of them I seen was absolutely miserable.
And really just be grateful. Like, for example, we live on the beach, and then she'll be like, oh my God, we're never gonna afford housing. And you know, it could be right. We may never be able to afford housing at the rate that it's going. But there's this video that I saw with Bill Burr that's saying it's like, it's gonna be fine. You know, it's gonna be fine. And then even if it's not gonna be fine, wouldn't you rather think that it is? And then when it's not fine, if it turns out to not be fine, you just deal with it then?
What's the point of killing yourself, working 6-7 days a week to provide for a family that you don't even get to see? And it's like you're killing yourself, you're working yourself to death. I want to be there for my wife and for my spouse, and I think I'm past the monetary compensation that you get from other things. Obviously, money's important. You need money to live. It's not everything.
Working at Target taught me, unless I'm like a super millionaire, bro, which I will be, I would not be like one of them hardcore provider dude. Cause every one of them I seen was absolutely miserable. Bro, I would literally be like a therapist up in there as a cashier. Like a dude come in with his family on like a Sunday. He wanna be watching football on his one off day, but he get dragged out with them. Wife rocking Lululemons and Golden Goose sneaker. They drive a Range Rover or Escalade. The wife and kids would go to get Starbucks, and every single time these dudes would complain to me about how much they hate their life, about how all they do is work all the time, their wife spend all their money, and how they basically got no freedom. Sometimes the convos would go deeper too, and they'd be like, bro, we live in check to check, we could barely even afford it. Meanwhile, his girl spending like $800, $1,000 at Target, bro, and finna go to Somerset Mall right after that. Bro, who would want that, bro?
Ask them about their wife or kids, and they give you the biggest scythe ever. Happy wife, happy life. Nah, bro. Yeah, happy wife, happy life. Nah, bro, I'm good on that.
My dad is a provider, man. Mom hasn't worked in years. He is so miserable, and I feel terrible. Gone to the point I resent my mom because of this. How do you see the love of your life struggling and do nothing?
Yeah. In this economy, no way. And that's because they're trying to provide while not making provider income, which I think is also a big part of it. It's like, in this time that we live now, making, let's say, a family of 4, you're not going to be able to sustain a family of 4, have a comfortable lifestyle, let's say say you make $120,000. It's not enough, dude. It's not enough if you guys want to be comfortable, if you guys want to go shopping, if you guys want to go, on vacation. That's not going to be enough, dude. And so I think you have to really be on the same page with your partner and say, what life do we want to live? If I stay at home, what can we afford? Have a budget. How much money is coming in? How much money we can spend on this, X, Y, and Z. Yes, we're together. We're married. We have kids. My money is your money. Your money. Or if you don't work, I guess there is no your money. But it's both of it is our money. But then it's like we have to really be on the same page as to how much we're spending on X, Y, and Z. And I feel like a lot of men don't have that conversation. And if you tell your wife, hey, you can stay home, I got this, I got the bills, whatever, don't worry about it. There has to be some numbers that you have to run by each other. How much can we spend? How much can we afford on this? And if you as the woman say, you know what, I'm not comfortable with that number, that number is too low for me, whatever reason, then you're going to have to work in some shape or form. So I saw the video and a lot of comments you just saw, and it's really true, because a lot of people want to stay at home and raise kids and whatever, but they're not willing to make the necessary cuts when it comes to their finances and their budgeting. And we can't afford Target or Starbucks 4 days a week if you're not working. We cannot afford to go on Lululemons or go on vacation three times a year. Now, if you want that, then you're going to have to work. There's going to have to be some income. This is 2024. Things are super expensive, especially if you live in a major city. So I think you have to be on the same page. And then if I have to work 6 days a week, slaving my ass away, 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, how long can I take this? How long can I put up with this? Because at some point, something's got to give. And I think that's why a lot of guys are quote unquote miserable, because all they do is work, because they have to provide for their family, and
while not making provider income.
While not making that money, because if I have to work 6 days a week to sustain us, I'm not making enough, dude. Because I also want to live my life and spend time with my spouse, with my kids. How can I do that if I'm working 6 days a week, fucking 12, 14, 16 hours a week, a day? So I think something's got to give, and I don't know. I don't know how that would look like. We don't. I don't have kids. You don't have kids, but you have to really be. I think you have to have that conversation early on before this even happens, before you even fall in that. Because I think a lot of people, they don't have that conversation, or maybe they're scared to have that conversation because they told their partner, "Hey, stay at home, don't worry about it," and then now they facing the music. It's like, fuck, dude, this is a lot. What do you think?
I'm reading this comment here. It's like the economy is literally collapsing, and I get told I need to pay for all her stuff. Brother, I get enough for rent and 3 meals a week. So it's like, I think there should be a level of, compassion in the sense of like, the economy really isn't in everyone's favor where we're all like, able to throw money around.
Yeah.
I think the majority, and I think it's just trying to work through things and really think of the future, not like right now, and really just trying to build for that, because it's true. Like, how can you expect to what you said, like, sustain working that much to make what you're making in order to provide to the level that you are, when it's like sure, you can keep working, but until when? Like, I'm sure there's other things that could change in order for you to be more present in the relationship and have more time, in order for you guys to maybe cut back on certain things and then really focus on the relationship.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks, because then you see how men are willing to sacrifice for their partners, for their families, for the children, and work all those hours in order to make that much money. Like, they're to the point that they're miserable because they have, I guess, some sort of pride in, well, at least I'm providing for them. It's not because they really want to, really. It's because
they kind of feel like they have to, and
well, it's the role of a man
to provide.
to
But
provide.
it's like, if you
To what degree?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are you sacrificing?
Right.
To what point can you continue doing that?
And you if you're making an income and it's not enough, then you gotta either raise your income, and if you can't do that, you have to cut your expenses. And I feel like a lot of people live above their means. It's funny because I watched a video a while ago, and it was she was a mother, and she was a stay-at-home mom, and she said, "Listen, it was really important to me to be raising our kids, but I knew that if I stopped working, I would lose a substantial amount of money coming into the household, so that would require me to give up certain things." They got rid of their second car, because she's like, if I'm staying at home, I don't need a second car. That's $800 a month with everything going on that I'm saving. I stopped shopping, 5 times a month. I stopped doing X, Y, and Z. So all these things she was aware of. If I want to stay at home and raise our kid, certain things have to be compromised, be given up. And if you have that conversation with your partner and you're both on the same page, I could see how that might work. But if you don't have that mentality of, hey, what do I have to give up in order to stay at home? Because certain things will need to be given up. Unless you make an insane amount of money, which most people don't, there's going to be some sacrifices, some uncomfortable conversations, some things that you may not want to give up, but have to give up in order to stay at home and not have to work. And so you have to have that conversation. If you're dating, have it now. If you're expecting a kid, you definitely want to have that conversation now, And if you already have a kid and you're already staying at home, or you're thinking about it, go over your finances again. Hey, can we really afford this? What would this look like every month? You have to have a budget. And if you don't want your man telling you can't spend more than, I don't know, $1,000 a month on this, then staying at home is not for you, because then you have to get a job, so.
I think this kind of goes back into what we were talking about on the previous video that we worked on.
Yeah.
Asking for the income, or like knowing if the income is enough right out of the gate, kind of prepares you for these conversations too, because you already know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, if I already know you're making enough from the get, I know I wouldn't have to sacrifice or compromise.
Yeah.
I wouldn't need to get another job. But if it isn't enough, instead of me getting with that guy who probably treats me right and cares and I love him and he's nice, but we're going nowhere, how am I going to be able to get, the things that I want, or be a stay-at-home mom and raise a child, build a family? So I think that's why those women exist. It sucks. Really, it's so hard. It's so difficult, because it's like, what's the right way? Like, how do you dictate survival, you know? Because it's almost like, well, we need a certain amount to survive. And as a woman, if I want to raise children, I want to, do this, it's either I pick up another job, top of the fact that I have a child, in order for both of us to survive, or I find the guy who has it all already, who has enough money. It sucks. It's tough.
It's a tough position to navigate, and you have to really ask yourself, what do I want out of life? What type of life do I want to live? What type of family do I want to raise? The reality is things are insanely expensive, and most people don't make the type of money to be able to have a comfortable life on one income. It's just not there. Our grandparents were able to do that. Your fucking grandpa could be like my grandpa. He was an engineer, and he was the main provider. And my grandma, she wasn't really working. She would do things on the side here and there, but they were on a fixed income based on his income. They had the budget, and he would be like, "Here, you have $500 every month to spend, or $300, and you have to get by." That's and it worked for them, but that wouldn't happen. That wouldn't work today, So, and then now, if you would tell women, "Oh, this is how much here is $500 a month," you have to get by with that. Fucking look at you crazy. Back then, that was a normal thing. Even if you adjusted for inflation, say $1,000. But that's what being on a single income is. That's single income life household. That's what it is. It's a fixed income, and you have to live below that. And if you can't do that, then you need to find money somewhere else by probably having to work.
Yeah, I've been doing this exercise lately, especially with this whole economic collapse that we're all feeling almost like squeezed. Just being more grateful and appreciative for the things that I have.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh man, I wish I had that. 'Cause there's just a lot of things that I wish I could do. A lot of things I wish I could have and that I want. But is it necessary? Like, what would really what significant change would that bring to my life?
Yeah.
And I've just kind of dumbed it down a little bit, because at the end of the day, man, what do we have left? Maybe another 40, 50, 60 years?
Yeah.
7 years if we're really lucky, maybe, if you call that luck. And then after that, it's done. Like, we've already gone through 30, you and I.
Yeah, 30. Which a lot of people, that's kind of like the halfway point.
It could be. Could be for a lot of people. Arguably, we could say we're a third of the way. If you want to estimate around 80, 90, 100, whatever. But it's like, after that, then what? What was it all for? And it could just be the broke boy in me talking. Because if I had more money, then it wouldn't really. But then again, even those who do have money always go back to the same thing. Like, there's no amount of money that you can get that's really going to bring what most people, I think, what they want is that connection. It's having the family. It's when you're older, and yeah, sure, you have all this money, but then you're on your deathbed, and no one is there. No one wants to see you. There's no family there to be like, oh man, like, thanks, or let's spend some time with you. Like, you're alone.
Yeah.
With all the money that you know what I mean? Like,
true.
I've just kind of changed my perspective and just been like, let me be grateful. Let me try to spend more time with my family. Try to find opportunities to spend more time with my girlfriend, and really just be grateful. Like, for example, we live on the beach, and then she'll be like, oh my God, we're never going to afford housing. And it could be right. We may never be able to afford housing at the rate that it's going. But there's this video that I saw with Bill Burr that's saying it's like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And then even if it's not going to be fine, wouldn't you rather think that it is? And then when it's not fine, if it turns out to not be fine, you just deal with it then? Rather than just thinking the whole entire time that it's not going to be fine, and then you're miserable, thinking it's never going to be fine. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, why are we going to be stressing out this whole entire time when we could be enjoying? Like, we can actually be grateful for what we do have. And then if it doesn't work out, then we'll deal with it then. But why worry about it now and ruin today?
So true. So very true. I mean, even now you made some really good points, and being grateful for what you have is definitely something that helps you kind of look at things differently. And even like, because I work so much, like I work 6 days a week, and I have like 1 day off. The little time that I have off I spend with Claudia, and I love it. But it makes everything so much better. Waking up, sleeping in, even going to the gym, having a great workout, grabbing coffee, like little things like that. You really learn to cherish that. And even though I make more money now than I ever made, and not crazy amount, but more than I'm used to making, it really comes down to the things, the quality of life that I have, spending time with the people that I care about. We talked about the other chat, like I miss spending time with you, because we work so much. So I was happy today that you walked into the house, and I was happy to see you, even though we had to kind of work, and this is work, but we get to spend time together. And we've put things into perspective. We're like seeing our parents. Like, how many times are you going to see your parents? Let's say you only see them every 3 months, 4 times a year. You see that math. So it's like, imagine you only see me, or I only see you 20 more times, because we don't really see each other that much like we used to. So let's say things happen. You never know what happens. Let's say you only get to see me 20 more times or 30 more times. Same thing with other friends. It's like it puts things into perspective, which I think you were saying earlier. It's like, if I only get to see you 30 more times, wouldn't I want each and every one of those times to make the most out of it?
Yeah.
So it's like, and I try to look at that with many things, all the things that I care about. It's like, how many more times do I get the opportunity to be doing this? And so because that number is limited, because there's one day that you won't be able to do it anymore. There's a cap on it. So there's a cap on how many times we get to go into the studio and all, and all these other things. So it's like, I think it comes down to that, and no amount of money will make you whole, and will make you. At some point, it doesn't even matter how much you make. It's just what matters is the people that you have in your life and around you, and so appreciating the people that you really care for, which is in my case is you, Christina, my girl, my family, my parents, and all that. So yeah, putting things into perspective, and a lot of people need to realize that what truly matters is your family and the people that you have in your life. And so after a while, like, what's the point of killing yourself, working 6-7 days a week to provide for a family that you don't even get to see? And it's like, you're killing yourself, you're working yourself to death. I don't want to live that.
That's not a life I want.
No. And so it's not, I can't imagine. I want to see my kids. If I have kids, I want to see them grow up. I want to raise them. I want to be present.
Involved.
And be involved. My dad wasn't really involved. I would see my dad two times a year, because he lived in a different country, and not to take anything away from him, but that's not the parent I want to be. It's not the father I want to be, and I want to be there for my wife and for my spouse, and just kind of, I think I'm past the monetary compensation that you get from other things. Obviously, money's important. You need money to live, but it's not everything, So. This is my 2 cents, but I hope that for anybody who's in that position, like the video discussed, like, I'm sure that happens every single day. People are miserable doing working and having to provide a lifestyle that it's really not sustainable for their income. And my best advice would just be to strip away everything that you really don't need, and realize what truly matters. And if you can value the things that you do have, it's a beautiful thing. Because a lot of the stuff you don't really need. Going to fucking shopping every week, going to Target, spending all this money, like, for what?
Yeah,
Americans are consumed with buying shit. It's like,
well, that's what this country thrives
yeah,
on.
exactly. So it's like, I don't know. How many days could you go without spending money? It's like, because you don't really need to spend money. Not every fucking single day. Not everything is meant to be spent, like, in terms of a monetary way. I truly believe that. So. It's tough. I wouldn't want to be in that position. That's a lot of pressure. And speaking, a lot of pressure, mental health is this month. A lot of men probably feel like stuck, to kind of.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I actually, because I'm putting my life into perspective, and it's like, yeah, man, like, think of all the stresses that men have, and like trying to provide. Like, we really want to do the best that we can. Like, granted, there's like dickhead guys out there, just like there's dickhead girls out there, but. For the good guys that really want to do the right thing and grow and like, I see videos now that they pop up on my feed that it's like, oh, what they truly want. And it's like, he pulls up to his house, in his garage, locks his car, opens the door, and he's got a little baby girl like, Daddy, with the wife in the background, walking into his crib. Like, dude, that's what men want. Like, I think that's what men want.
Good point. Yeah.
So it's like, we're here, we're trying so hard, and we're really grinding, especially in this this economy that we don't even know what the fuck is going on. And it is tough because we do go through a lot. We have a lot of pressure. We want to try to provide, but then we almost get halted, and it's like, would I even be able to?
Yeah.
Would I even be able to? And then you just go, put up your bootstraps and go tackle every day the same way every day, hoping that eventually everything will fall into place. But we really don't know. All that we do know is that we just got to keep on working. And that's also a shitty way to kind of live life. Like, fuck, we got to keep on working.
Yeah. It sucks because, like, and then since we work so much, like, kind of like life is kind of like going by so fast. Like we're about to be in fucking,
Fucking
July.
July, dude.
Scary.
Oh my.
Like I don't want to work my way into the grave. Like I don't want to work, and then look back and I'm like, fuck, where did all this time go? And I feel like a lot of
Been
people just happen
working.
to. Yeah, working. And it's like, because it's the same shit. Time goes by faster because keep doing the same thing. We've talked about this before too. And it's like, I know there's a certain amount of work required in order to kind of live the life that we want to live. I understand that. But at some point, you got to say, yo, I want to enjoy my life too, right? You know? So it's enjoying the moment, planning for the future, but also being in the presence. So it's a lot of things, man. You know, I guess becoming an adult, like we're 31 now, which is kind of scary, but yeah, we just take it day by day, you know?
You know, there was a post that I reposted on my story, and it goes, I honestly think that human beings are not meant to live like this.
Oh.
We are meant to be a part of loving communities surrounded by nature every day, growing our own food and being creative, not working every day and night until we die. This longing for another life is not human nature. It's a symptom of modern society.
Yeah.
And you know what? I saw the movie Kingdom for the Planet of the Apes, or Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Like, I got into the Planet of the Apes, I guess since this new movie was coming out. So I saw like the first, I guess 3 of the latest ones that came out.
Okay.
And like in their world, like they're all just trying to work together. And like they even have a thing, it's like apes together, strong. And like they're all there trying to build community. Like they're trying to help each other and grow. And it's a movie. They're fucking apes. They're not real humans. So, but they're talking apes. Whatever. It's fucking very fictional to a certain degree, I guess. I don't know. But it's like they really try to work together and create this life that people care about each other.
Yeah.
And I just feel like now we're just like, well, how can I screw somebody else over for me to get ahead?
How can I get ahead?
And then I don't know. I just feel like I look back and I just think, man, I wonder if this life would have been very different if people did things differently.
Yeah.
Like actually cared. But
Yeah, everything is like like how can I financially get ahead? How can I fucking screw you over? How can I get ahead? How can I get a leg up?
Listen, there's I guess on the economy, there's a lot of times that people blame banks for it.
Yeah.
And on a very, very small level, coming from a former banker, I would just kind of remember when, because what you would do is you would call every day looking for business, right? So let's say, for example, I needed to get loans. I needed to book more loans at my job. I would essentially have to either find people who needed a loan, or if you already had a loan with another bank, I would need you to refinance with my bank. So I'm basically stealing from you, from whoever that bank is, in order for me to get the loan and me to start making money. And I'm taking it from somebody else. Same thing when it comes to deposits. In order for a bank to grow, because you can have your business, and if your business does well, I'll get those deposits, I do well, right? But you would also look for businesses that were already doing well and be like, hey, why are you banking with fucking this bank? Come bank with me, man. I'll give you all these things. We'll work on something. You need this, like I got you. But the only way that I can get that is if I take it from somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how this country's, how it grows. Like it's such a shame, but banking is how this country thrives. And you have to take from somebody else in order for you to succeed.
Take. Yeah.
Gross, dude. Could have been something else. We could have been like, oh, let's work together and grow together.
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, I can't. I need that in order to survive, and you have it. I need it.
Yeah.
So the only way I can get it, I got to take it from you.
Exactly. I guess that's kind of what this world is built on, unfortunately. And I think
It's a shame, dude.
it is a shame. I guess the only thing you can control on your level is your family, the people in your close vicinity, and kind of grow above that, I guess that's the thing, one thing at a time.
One thing at a time.
But yeah, that was a great little conversation. I'm glad we discussed this topic.
So then I think this one's got to be posted first, especially since June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
I agree. We'll post it.
This month is also Pride, but I think the men's mental health gets shadowed a lot when we're really trying so hard to really succeed and provide and do the right thing, at least the good ones. And I guess we should just take this moment to really give kudos to those men who are working hard and busting their ass and really trying to get by and hustling.
Yeah.
This episode's for you.
And if you are a woman and you have someone in your life, a man who's working hard to kind of provide a life for you and himself, thank them. I think sometimes it's just all it takes is a word of gratitude and just being appreciated. I think that's what a lot of us men mourn for. Is a thank you. Is I appreciate you. Is you've done a good job. Whether that is cutting the grass, taking out the trash, cleaning the dishes, refilling up your tank, washing your car, whatever it is, small or big. A thank you only takes half a second, 2 words, but it means a lot of times the world to a man. I know it does to me. When my girl tells me, "Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for doing X, Y, and Z," it means a lot to me. And I don't do it because I expect the thank you, but it's still appreciated.
It's funny. I saw a video of this girl talking. She was basically reviewing a video of, there was this couple who, they're like, oh, look how happy this guy gets. Because the girl, she went up to the guy and she started asking him about this project he was doing on his car. And she's like, oh, what'd you do? And he's like, oh, I put this up. And she's like, it came out so good. And he looks at it, he's like, really? He's like, yeah, like, look, like, you did this all yourself. And he goes, yeah, I mean, it was hard, but I was able to do it. She goes, it's perfect. And he's like, it's not perfect, but, it's still pretty good. Like, it's solid. And she goes, oh, you did such a good job. And you just see, like, his face, like, brighten up, as opposed to how other women probably just kind of not talk down to men, but they don't really give men, like, just that. Like, we don't get compliments. No. We rarely get compliments. So especially if you have a man, dude, like, give him a compliment today. If you want, whenever you can, just say something nice. Thank him for something he did, even if it was a week ago. And you're like, fuck, I never gave you kudos for that. I never really thanked you for you doing this, whether it's putting something away, cleaning something, or he listened to you where you were always telling him, hey, please put your fucking clothes away. My girlfriend does that shit all the time. I'll be leaving my shit because I'm always on the run, and I'll put it like right next to my nightstand, and she's like, put your shit away. So then I'm like, fuck, okay, let me put the effort. Fucking make sure that before I'm like, don't put it down, put it away. Don't put it down, put it away. So I'll do that. And then she'll just be like, hey, by the way, thank you for putting it away. It's like, good. So you're acknowledging, like, I'm trying. I'm really trying. Just those little moments, like, makes me happy.
Yeah, I love that. It's a great way to end.
Give some kudos to you, man.
Yes. Appreciate someone.
Men's mental health awareness. We love you.
Thank you. We appreciate you guys.
Peace.
Ciao.